Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session of AI Showcase under CXO series webinar specials. Just to set the context, AIQRATE establishes deep partnerships with leading and emerging global AI companies and startups under AIQRATE Alliance Forum to complement and cover strategic capabilities and technology solution needs in AI arena for our clients to help achieve breakthrough results in AI transformation. So in this AI showcase, we will focus on showcasing three boutique AI ventures: Actify Data Labs, Hyperstate Technologies, and SmartBots, talking about solving large, complex, and unresolved problems for multiple industry segments and demonstrating their solutions, platforms, and capabilities to our global participants. We have the leaders from these organizations with us today to discuss on the problems and challenges of the industries they are serving in, their innovative platforms, solutions, and the value they are delivering to their clients. So we are very aware that beside the disruptive push, main factors that have brought back AI from its winter are data, cloud, and computational power. Taking data for this discussion at this point of time, we have heard that data is the new oil. There is huge amount of underutilized data available all over, and this data is the main fuel for AI, etc. But despite having so much of data, many organizations are struggling to go beyond pilots in AI enablement. Surely it is due to several challenges that are involved in engineering the data for AI enablement. So we have Actify Data Labs addressing the above challenges and more for these organizations. Actify Data Lab is a machine learning and data platform company that specializes in leveraging alternate data for building machine learning solutions. Actify Data Platform ADAPTify is the end-to-end data platform that allows organizations to create data lake, data marts, visualization, and machine learning models without writing a single line of code. To present Actify Data Labs and its platform, we have with us its CEO, Hindol Basu. Let me quickly introduce Hindol. Hindol comes with around 20 plus years of machine learning experience. He has pioneered the development of innovative solution frameworks in IoT, leveraging macroeconomic data for risk estimation, and building gray box machine learning frameworks. In India, he had been the pioneer in establishing credit bureau analytics for the Indian market. He had developed the first set of credit bureau scores for CIBIL. I'm sure you know about CIBIL. Hindol, pleasure to have you on our webinar specials. Let me now give you the control. It's all yours now. Please take over.
Thank you, NK. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining this fantastic sessions. I have been following the webinars hosted by the platform AIQRATE, and they have been very exceptional webinar. It's an honor and privilege to be part of one. Let me share my screen. Hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yes, Hindol, we can see your slides. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. NK, thank you so much for that kind introduction. And as you very rightly said, data is pretty much the heart of AI. Data for building intelligence and data for applying intelligence is essentially what is the foundation or heart or oxygen or whatever we call it. That is what drives AI. And facilitating that or enabling that journey is what we try to do in our platform. I'll try to describe that in the presentation today. So, this is very little bit about us as an organization. If you just look at us, And if you just want to describe us, you can describe us as the creators of this platform, which we will talk about. We have expertise in some of the alternate sources of data, particularly sensor data, satellite images, scanned PDFs, etc. And we do specialize in insurance and lending mostly. We do have a few clients in other industries as well. These are some of the clients that we work with, sort of a small representative set. So this is kind of the main part or the heart of the presentation. As NK mentioned in the beginning, data is the heart of AI. And the power of an AI solution is dependent largely on the quality, the variety, and the richness of the data that we can put in. And that is what drives a powerful AI solution. So therefore, to make AI real and taking AI out of its winter, taking AI beyond the science fiction sounding words, what we need to do is we need to address the foundational data challenges that are required to provide the right data for an AI solution to be developed and deployed. So if you look at in this area have lived every day, the fact remains that when we build an AI solution, 80% of our time, our investment, and our effort goes into getting the right data in shape, which we will use for building an AI solution. What we have seen in the industry is that really makes the journey of AI introduction into a business process a formidable journey. The first is, of course, getting the data. The second is, for example, you have used the data, developed an AI solution. Now the solution has to be deployed. And deployment of those models, again, takes a lot of time. So therefore, what happens is the time that is needed to show some tangible business value becomes too high. The third challenge that we see is to create AI solution, we need data scientists, machine learning experts with deep expertise. And it's very difficult for a business analyst in a marketing function or a finance function to do most of this. So there is a barrier to democratizing AI. So these are the three things which sort of prevents a flourish of AI organization. And so therefore, if you look at the life cycle of an AI solution, it's like an iceberg. There are a lot of foundational steps that has to be in place before you can get into a situation where you have a solution deployed and the solution is giving business value. Now, those foundational steps involved getting all the data together from various sources, structuring the unstructured data, and then building the models and then implementing the model. Mostly we focus on the top pieces of building the model, implementing the model. But there is a lot of work which needs to be done before you get to that stage. And doing that amount of background work requires investment, requires time, and often that is an aspect which is not discussed very extensively within the organization. And therefore, most AI initiatives end up with frustration. And they end up with frustration because there are cost overruns, there are time overruns, and senior management feels this is just scientific mumbo jumbo, this is not for my organization. So therefore, to address that, what we have realized is there are essentially two pieces of these, as we saw in the iceberg view as well. There is a foundational piece. And then once the foundation is in place, then there's an execution of the AI. You're building the real AI. So what is the foundation? The first foundation is we have in any organization n number of data sources, some internal to the organization, some external to the organization. And we need connectors to connect those data sources so that I can get all the data in one place. Then, of course, data is the biggest friend of AI, and data quality is like the biggest enemy of AI. We need to resolve data quality issues, get the data in a shape which can be used to build a solution, which means massaging or wrangling the data. And once the solution is built, then you deploy the solution using what most people call almost a one-click deployment of an AI solution as an API or a web service. So these are the foundational pieces. The connectors to bring all the data, one place for all the data to stay, managing data quality, massaging or wrangling the data, and then once the solution is built, deploy it as an API. Now that's the foundation. And once you have got the foundation in place, you of course have to build the AI solution. And one of the important aspects, particularly in more business use cases of AI that we have, all of us do see very often, is this whole idea about explainable AI. As we have moved from good old statistical models to more machine learning and AI type of solutions, how do we make those solutions explainable? And how do we address the huge amount of change management that is needed to put AI as part of a business process within the organization? So therefore, what we have done is we have created a platform, we call it ADAPTify. And what we promise in the platform is that we will solve the foundational challenges of AI very quickly. When we go to our clients or our prospective clients, we go and tell them that we will help you solve the foundational problems of AI within 30 to 45 days. It's a challenge. So that all your basics are taken care of and we are in the solution. So what does the platform have? The first part of the platform are pre-built connectors. So we have pre-built connectors to all possible databases in the world, including archaic databases like FoxPro. We have connectors for streaming data so that to get your data from various systems, you are just configuring the connectors. You're not writing a single piece of code. Now, once you have done that, you have completed the plumbing and data from various sources are now flowing in this central place. And then we have simple drag and drop utilities to massage or wrangle the data. We have utilities for creating dashboards because sometimes you may want to do that before you build an AI solution. We also have connectors to standard visualization tools like Tableau, ClickView, etc. Then we have abilities of building machine learning model on our platform. Or what we allow is we allow the data scientists to take the data out of the platform and build a model in Python or R or in any other tool of his or her choice, and then import the model back as a model object and implement the entire data pipeline as a API or a web service so that you can deploy the model very quickly and give a API or a web service to the consumers of the model. Of course, there are various aspects that we take care of, including all data management best practices, including abilities of reading data at real time. And it could be at a 1-minute frequency as well, so that you can have your models running very frequently. So that's one part of things that we do. The second part of things that we do is, once we have got all this raw materials in place, sometimes clients consume the raw material. Sometimes we consume our own raw materials and build the AI solution ourselves. This is our AI solutions business, which is an add-on on the platform business. Where we do is we use all of this data to build AI solutions. And these are some of the alternate data that we have significant expertise on. And these are alternate data sources which we encounter very frequently. Scanned PDFs is almost the most commonly encountered data source that we figure out. Smartphone data is increasingly becoming important. Sensors, and one interesting source we work on is satellite images. And some of the interesting use cases that we have built using some of this alternate data, I'll just go through one or two examples and I'll close at that. One is, for example, we have used what we call our smartphone sensor data to build a driver risk score for an insurance company, where whenever you are traveling at a speed of more than 10 kilometers per hour, we take the streaming sensor data from the various smartphone sensors to understand how you are driving. We use a lot of this unstructured data from various documents like your PAN cards, passports, driving license, etc., for various fintech companies and credit bureaus. One interesting use case that we have done of streaming data is usage of streaming trading data for one of the stock exchanges, which is NSE in India, to predict circular trading, which is almost like a fraud. Some of the interesting use cases that we have done around image is for an insurance company to predict BMI from the, and this is a very interesting use case that we have worked, and it's a very India-specific use. Type Hindi in Hindi script. You're going to type Hindi in English script. So we have created a complete corpus and a complete chatbot on English. And we do a lot of satellite image use case also, where we combine satellite image data with more traditional sources of data to build machine learning models. So that's very brief about us and the platform and what we do. Maybe NK will be good to hear questions from everyone.
Yes, Hindol, thank you very much for sharing those insights and some of the great work you and your team are doing. So I like the statement about the DQ. It is a friend and also the enemy of the AI. So that is something surely that will stick in the mind. It can become an enabler or it can be destructive too. And secondly, on the alternate data, I am sure many of the participants must have clearly understood what this alternate data is and how to go about handling it. So we have, I see the time, we have around 5 minutes. Maybe we can take 2-3 questions. While I'm seeing some questions are already coming, I see one from. So I have one question with me, Hindol. So it is a trend now. Everyone are talking about AI and everyone would like to adapt AI in their businesses and leverage it to improve their business and more money. But there is a belief that AI adoption is a very complex and lengthy initiative and takes a very long time to witness the business benefits out of it. So what's your take on that, please?
Thank you. Thank you, NK, for that question. You know, what we have tried to create within our platform is what we call is the agile data journey. And the concept of agile has been there for many, many years, more in the world of software development. And we have tried to bring it into the world of AI through our platform. The way we have tried to enable the agile journey is that once you have created the basic foundation or the pipes to all your external and internal sources, what we say is, let's stop the foundations there. I mean, it's a half-done building. And then you may just say that I just want to build one room. I don't want to build the whole building right away. I just want to build one room. And that one room is one business use case. Maybe you want to solve one business use case of using streaming data to find out location of people who are high risk or something like that. Then what we try to do is we create the rest of the data pipeline, starting from the data massaging, creating the data, building the models and deploying the model for that use case. So we have created this use case specific or agile journey so that in 30 to 45 days, once we have done the foundations, we do not go in the traditional way of aggregating all of that data to create a huge, almost similar to what we used to call a enterprise data warehouse, but stop at that dirty swamp of all that data and pick out what is needed for a particular use case only. So that's one piece of the time. So that reduces the time and makes the journey agile. Second, what we have tried to do is budget. Usually, if you see, most of the times, creating an AI solution, deploying an AI solution requires huge budget. So what we have tried in our platform to do is we've tried pretty much a complete open source stack-based platform, which provides all the pieces that are required in that AI journey in one packet or in one place, so that we have tried to reduce the total cost of ownership of an AI solution, starting from the tools, the infrastructure needed, and even the enablement capabilities needed, so that it becomes affordable both from a time required and a money required perspective.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, Hindol. I see one question which seems to be pretty topical. I would surely like you to take that. So it says, are you working on any novel COVID-19 business issues like supply chain risk or others? So are you using any alternate data for these assessments?
Yeah, it may become a slightly long story. I'll try to keep it short. We have been, COVID is of course a big thing for everyone. And the interesting thing about COVID is none of us have seen something like this in our lifetime. We are doing a lot of work around COVID, but particularly for financial services, and where we are trying to help them with collections and with loss forecasting. How much loss should the budget for? People are saying it should be 3 times, it should be 4 times, but there should be a more intelligent way of looking at it. And secondly, how do you collect? Who is the person that, see, the government has given a moratorium to everyone. How do you collect differently from different people? And the interesting thing about COVID is it to some extent breaks a little bit of the basic block of AI. Meaning, if you build a solution with long-range historical data, that solution may not work because history is not repeating itself. So what we have done is we have created solutions which uses very short periods of data. And particularly, we have used a lot of data from smartphone sensors. We have used with a lot of companies where they have some sort of an app with a supplier, with a delivery person, or with a customer. And we are trying to take that information to figure out what is happening to the customer. For example, simple things like migration. Have people migrated from their original place where they were to a different place? Another interesting thing from supply chain. Earlier, when we used to build some supply chain solutions, we used to use Google Maps to figure out traffic density. Now, in lockdown, that doesn't work. But we have to identify what are containment areas. Again, we are using, to some extent, some of the traveling salesmen who are traveling to understand areas that they're avoiding. Normal routes, Google suggested routes versus actual lat long that they're taking, and try to figure out because these containment zones are springing out like unpredictable way. So these are some of the things that we are doing more with dynamic data. We did try about predicting COVID cases, but that model is very, very erroneous that way.
Fantastic. The Google thing is something, I never thought about it. Never used Google recently for last 2 months anyway, but what you said is right. So thanks, Hindol, for this great presentation and the insights you shared. So we will now move to the next segment with your permission, Hindol.
Thank you, please.
Thank you. All right, we're moving to the second segment. So in this segment, we have Hyperstate Technologies, which aims at enabling and enhancing businesses in 3 aspects. I love the way Prashanto put it. They enable and enhance especially the experience, performance, and joy, enhanced and fantastic experience to customers, greater and better performance for their businesses, and the resulting abundant joy for both. It's a fantastic way to put across. So Hyperstate builds simple and powerful collaboration tools for innovators on the SaaS model. They create AI-driven pipelines and frameworks in the digital economy to enable instant scale data capture and create actionable insights. Hyperstate combines the creative data and AI to deliver real-time personalized experiences on marketing channels. So with its proprietary platform, Kappa, Hyperstate is transforming business across industries. Today, we have both the founders of Hyperstate Technologies with us, Prashanto Das and Shubham Chauhan. Prashanto, an ex-Times Group, UTV, Bloomerang veteran, founder of Ping Network, a business geek with a creative background, he is focused on creating engagement-driven business models. Prashanto's passion lies in revitalizing Bharat. Let me stress there, Bharat via do-it-yourself technologies made accessible to masses. Fantastic. Shubham Chauhan is the technical entrepreneur from passed out of IIT Bombay. Shubham likes to build solutions to problems that can have a greater positive impact. He is obsessed with the no-code movement, fantastic, and unmanned aerial vehicles. Prashanto and Shubham, it's wonderful to have you both on our webinar today. Let me give the control to you guys to take over the session, please. Prashanto and Shubham, over to you.
Thank you, NK. Thank you so much for having us over, and love the series that we've been having so far. Lots of great ideas floating. I loved what Hindol presented. I will just have one correction to Hindol there, saying we stopped stressing on the word AI because I think we wouldn't be here if AI wasn't a part of what we do. So it is so intrinsic to our systems, whether from the point of time that somebody starts using the system to anything. So we realize over a point of time we are stressing on the obvious. So let's stop stressing on the obvious, and let's not talk about the AI, but let's talk about what everything else it can do for you. So what like you've correctly analyzed, what we end up doing is there are three things that the business is focused on. First is engagement. The second is performance. The third is fulfillment. Actually, if I take a step back, when Shubham and I first met, I come from a very creative background. Creative background means I've set up 24/7, set up NDTV India, set up Times Now, was the group creative head for UTV, built my own digital business, built an content business, cashed out on it, realized because this doesn't have scale till technology. Actually, Shubham and I, when we first started off, we realized that the biggest problem that everybody else has, and we work with brands like Tanishq, Marico, we work with brands like Dabur, Nascom. What we realized that the biggest problem that every brand has today is that they're communicating a lot, but we don't know whether they're communicating effectively or not. That was the first problem. The second problem that we realized is forget everybody else. Look at the consumer that you're reaching out to. And when we first looked at that, we realized that guy doesn't have more than 6 seconds of his time to give to you. In that 6 seconds, you have to make sure that he gets you, he sees you, he understands you, and he takes some action what is valuable for the brand and for you as a business. Second deviation, we don't think that the time exists now where you say that no, everybody should come back to my website and that's how I should interact with them. We would rather take the shop to the customer and say, now figure out how do you want to interact with people out here. It's their time, their moment, their platform, their device, and they will decide whether you are worth it, you're worth the time or you're not worth the time. Shubham, I'm handing it over to you from here and explain some of the things as you go along, what we have done, what we have solved, and how have we enriched the experience. And I will dive in wherever required on the data points. Shubham, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Let me just confirm. Are you able to hear my see my screen and read it as well?
Yeah, I'm able to. Please
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So guys, in this one, let me just give you a couple of examples of what we do, and then after that, I'll walk you through like how it has been built and what are the technologies that are functioning at the back end. Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can just drop on the inbox. In this particular example, so what happens is if you watch any advertising, you're supposed to watch the video, and after that, you're supposed to go to the website maybe 1 day or 2 day later, go to search and look at try to find out the same dress that you had seen in the video, and after that, start the checkout process. What you have done in this one, I'm sorry, I cannot share the sound of the video. What we have done in this one is whatever you see inside the video, you can just tap on it and add it to your collection. Like if I like this yellow hoodie, it gets added to my collection. Same goes for this red top. If I like this floral top, just click on it, add to the collection. If I like this another floral shirt, add to the connection. And once you have, let's say, added couple of products, and now you want to start the checkout process, you can click on the product and check out with your product variation that you want, maybe color and size and everything. Now, in this case, there's another delight that comes into the picture is fashion is influence driven. Fashion, whenever you're going to buy anything, you want to have the second opinion of the influencers from the market. So what you can do is you can click on Style on the Go and check out what Komal Pandey is talking about it. And basically, once you understand her opinion and views, you can go back to home and continue the shopping where you had left off. So in this example, the shop is basically embedded inside the complete video. It is tailored in a manner that it gives you the complete pre-sales experience and lets you off at the point where you have just made the buying decision. Now you want to complete the transaction. In this case, either it can get handed over to the client side, in this case Myntra, or it can get completed using our system, which is built in Kappa system. By the way, the product name is Kappa. So I'll just close this one and move to the next one. You want to add something?
Yeah. Why don't you show the second one, and then maybe I'll dive in with some of what we finally delivered as a performance.
So all this, we are a product company, and all the demos that I'm showing are the real examples and the real world campaigns or the projects that we have done, and how we have implemented other different technologies into it. So in this case, the brand had a lot of videos, and they wanted to do again a pre-sales kind of an experience and try to capture the buying intent of the user. And they wanted to have an experience through which not just buying intent is getting captured, they're able to also induce it. That happens once you provide all the information, but in a very consumable manner. In this case, if I click on 32 MP, it tells me about the visuals that you can capture using this phone, this newest phone, V17 Pro. You can go back to home, check out the 48 MP megapixel camera, come back, look at the features of the phone, which you wouldn't have actually seen in 30-second video on YouTube. And once you have done all this, there's a small pop quiz that comes up and asks like which is the feature that you like the most. I like the full view display, and go forward, and whether you want to share it or not. That's done. All in all, there are two elements that are built into the system which supposed to capture the buying intent. That's one of them is this add to cart, and the other one is this offer one. So once you have made up your mind, it's available for you all the time. You can just click on it and start the transaction aspect of things. That's second. PD, you want to give some stats?
Yeah. So this was a live campaign. We used a Google double-click manager DV360 to serve this. This was served and published on almost all the sites in India, including in Times of India, Hindustan Times, everything. Against a traditional video engagement rate of 0.1% to 0.2%, we delivered 4.5% on this one, which was phenomenal. That was a massive jump because we could quickly segment. By the way, all that you're seeing out here has not been done in weeks and days. It was put together in hours. Each of them has taken us less than 3 hours or 4 hours to put together, because that's the tool. Now I'll have to use the word AI-driven technology, which allows you to build all of this stuff together. And we'll show you some bits of it, how machine learning, computer vision, everything is coming along to create object recognition and to create those experiences on the fly. Not only this, we'll also show you some examples of how your communication can become absolutely personalized. It can be hyper localized, and you can actually offer each segment of your audiences a special experience of the same creative or the communication or the experience. This example, Bad Boys, was for Sony Pictures. A large client came to us on a Thursday evening. Movie was releasing on a Friday. Wanted to see how we perform and if we are able to pull this together. Some very interesting things in this was they wanted to understand what is the recall of the franchise, which was take a quiz booked, and the second objective was see if people buy tickets. The other available materials were trailers and all these images and all those things. And I can.
PD?
What I would love to talk to you about is what we delivered in this. So we had a benchmark of 0.1%, what normal video did. We were confident that we could deliver about 4% of engagement. By the way, guys, we are only a 5-month-old company. We launched in NASCOM Product Conclave in November 2019. And we thought we'll go out and meet a few clients and to get some projects, but we ended up meeting a few clients and getting many more things in life. We did this. This delivered an engagement rate of 36%. Now compare this metric with 0.1% that a normal video delivers. You will understand why this is a massive change and shift in what happens. A traditional video would deliver about, Shubham, go slow, go back to the 36% metrics. A normal video would probably deliver about 7 seconds or 8 seconds of watch time. Average time spent on these kind of experiences was 68 seconds. Not only that, we were almost able to create an intent to buy of almost 300 tickets. Even on Vivo, the intent to buy, if I was to actually look at it pure marketing terms, for every 100,000 views, we were able to create an opportunity to buy of 1,500 phones. These are massive numbers. Traditional marketing has not even thought about delivering these kind of numbers. That is what we are able to do. So we could target, and by the way, any of these things that you see, you can actually see them on the fly. You can quickly course correct. You can A/B test it, and we can put it out. We are, as I speak, we are working with two of the largest market research agencies in the world to cut down the time of research from 6 months down to about 5 weeks or 6 weeks. Now that's the kind of strength that we bring to the table. Shubham, I would like you to go to the next example if you could, which is
COVID one I'm supposed to present, yeah.
yeah. Let's show the COVID one. Let's talk about and then let's show the hyper personalization ones if you could.
Let's see. We only have, how much time do we have left, NK?
You have around 10 minutes.
Okay. So, okay. So let's just talk about the product. In this another demo, this is from the time when COVID lockdown had just started, and people did not actually know about how to, first of all, what to do if you have some symptom or not, how to prevent it, who to reach out to, and how do you diagnose, like have a pre-diagnostic questions and all. So let me just dive in. You go inside, select your language, and you are posed with some of the features like self checkup, prevention ninja or something. I click on self checkup, it triggers the self checkup flow, and after that it's a couple of standard questions like the fever, age, and the symptoms that I'm facing, travel history, and the kind of disease history that I have. And it at the end it says, okay, yeah, okay, you should go and check up with the doctor. So that's again a recommendation based on the answers that I have given till now. Not only this, now, okay, there are a couple of more features into it, but let me just rush through the analytics part. Every element that you add to the system, where is analytics? This one. pretty. But after this, we should talk about AI. Like where have we used it and how does it work and all.
Go from here, Shubham. No more examples. Go from
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a dashboard. On the dashboard, we get to see like how many sessions have happened, out of which how many engaged sessions have happened, then the interactions, and then total time spent, which is it's not working right now. Anyways, then you have the heat maps, normal analytics like geography, operating system, browser, and everything else. The good part is this engagement analytics that you get out of the shelf. Like it captures whatever the interactions that are happening on the system: click, drag, switch, flick, and touch down, touch up, hover. All those interactions are counted, are saved into the system, and based on that it creates a funnel for you and tells you that, okay, which part was good, which part was not, which one should you be strengthening now, so that future way, and whenever the user comes, the guy does not drop off in the middle, and they should be moving forward out of it. Not only that, then you have some quick segmentation at the database level, where you can literally write a logic saying, I want all the users who have been coming from a city and who clicked on a button called, let's say, self checkout. That way you get to understand the of your own audiences. Anyway, let me just skip to the other parts. Now, there was no form.
Shubham, I'll just quickly come in here. Uh, the data sanctity is absolutely maintained. None of these are vanity views or vanity clicks. All of this is undertaken by humans. So we don't exactly know how behavior is mapped. We are mapping almost hundredth of a millisecond to understand what kind of behavior we are seeing. Uh, in market research, if you ask, I'm actually observing the viewer in his own environment, and we're able to see what they're doing.
Yes.
Sure, move on. Yeah.
So now let's talk about technology. Technology is simple. The first part is content. So as you can see in the Mintra one, we have to first identify what is actually in the video, based on which you can make it interactive. And the second part is optimizing what needs to be shown to who is also part of the recommendation algorithm. The moment you put the video inside the system, it figures out what is there inside the video and suggests some tags, which part of it make it interactive. And of course, same happens for the images as well. Once you have done that, then you head over to the editor like this. That this is where all the experience generation is created. It also stores the previous data, which basically tells you that, okay, for this particular element you should not be doing this, for this particular element you should be doing this. So that recommendation strengthens over the time when people start using it. Then the third part is data model part. You can now, till now, all the experiences that you ship out to the customers are not backed by data. You can add data models to the system, and once you start adding the data model, it becomes a brand beacon to collect the data into the system. And once it has been collected, you can reuse the data based on how people have been interacting with the system and retarget them with a better experience. That experience is also recommended by the system in the editor itself. Now, going forward in the next 2 3 months, 2 months on the roadmap, we are implementing voice flows where you can directly talk to the video. As of now, as you can see, I've been clicking on the system and navigating from one place to another. Moving forward, you should just be able to talk to the video with a wake word detection saying, "Hey Kappa, can you show the last part of the recipe?" And the video just goes over there and shows you that part of the word. So this is some of the technologies that we are working at the back end, but there's a tremendous non-AI technology is also going into the play in this one, like highly performant web-based editor, which is able to handle 30,000 element at once, while in other technologies like React, Vue, and what is the other one, Angular, gets to stutter at 10 elements on the screen. I mean, with 10 elements, if you try to mutate them, they drop the frame rate up to 15 FPS or 20 FPS. In this case, we maintain 60 FPS till 30,000 elements. So that's the scale that we are operating of.
Yeah, so we've been able to do a lot of heavy lifting on this, and also the size of the code that ships out is only about 10 kb or 12 kb, going up to a maximum
Yeah.
of 40 kb. That is
One more thing
somewhere
I want to
we are
add.
very proud about. Sir?
One more thing. Every element that you add on the artboard when you are making the experience comes up with its own analytics. Let's say, let's say you add a button. Button is going to count for the touches and clicks and drags and everything. Then when you're making the experience, you in turn making your dashboard itself, because the number of element and the way these elements talk to each other are also going to increase the data sanctity or the understanding of your own user behavior. So that part is basically is loved by our clients most of the time.
Yeah, and this is all real time. Please understand this. So far, marketing spends have been based on very little outcomes or very little delivery. So this is where we say that we create and we deliver to fulfillment both on the business as well as for the consumer, and that's where we are creating wow. Language, what Shubham stressed on, where language and that's where Shubham and our views merge together on creating products for Bharat and not just India. We want it to be touch enabled, speech enabled. We
One
all
more
have
thing,
very
Eddie.
different accents.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, I want to add something here. The moment you add a text layer into the system, like anything, let's say self checkup or prevention or test center, just taking the COVID example, it automatically tells you that whether you want to translate it into some other language. So sing make it once and make it ready for each and every target audience that you have, just by using the auto translate that is built into the system. So the pipeline from start to end uses AI everywhere, and it's so robust that if even if one part of the pipeline fails, then the whole system comes crashing. So it's tremendous engineering that goes at the back end as of now. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think we've given, I think, a quick overview of what we could in that limited time.
Absolutely.
I'd love to have dived in and shown more and more stuff. But yeah, I think if there are questions, we are happy to take some questions on this.
Absolutely. Session is so interesting. Time is just flying away. Uh,
Yeah.
so your take on AI, I know where AI is obvious is amazing. It started powering here as soon as you said that. One, secondly, the interactive video technology is fascinating. Turnaround time is 4 hours is absolutely phenomenal, Prashanto.
Thank you.
One should use video to identify products. You have just 1 minute for answering this. I'll take one more question and get into the next. There is one question which says, can you use this technology on any video to identify the products?
Actually, Shubham, you want to take that question?
Yes. So our system is built with a feedback, constant feedback from the guy who is using the editor. It for the first time when you upload the video, it identifies all the products that are existing inside it, which it can identify. And top of that, it provides a simple interface through which you can easily tag or create new tags inside the video, which you can later use to create more interactive stuff inside it. So in a way, the way it has been architectured, yeah, you can handle any sort of requirement that is coming in. AI itself, yeah, it works mostly 70 to 80% of the time. If the brand does not exist into the system, then it has to be first given 2 3 images and then tell them, okay, this is the brand, and then after that it starts understanding based on how you are using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Quick question, Prashanto. What's the business model? It's such a kind of creative work which is disruptive. So how do you work with client, or the other way, client works with you, and what's the business model in this?
We are a SaaS tool, and it's a very simple as it's as easy as signing up and making it a part of your workflows. The idea is to, and most companies are using communication to use it. It's a very simple tool. These are all no-code editors, and these no-code editing tools allow you to quickly use this, make this kind of creatives and put it out. and goes on to every platform, depending on what you like to use it for, whether it's creation, performance, distribution, or an analysis. There are different price points. We start as low as $20,000 a month, and our largest customers are willing to pay us many times over than that. I think it's all large business problems for them with very quick turnaround times. So that's how we are structured.
Fantastic. So we are running out of time. Prashanto, Shubham, that's fantastic presentation. Thank you very much for sharing those insightful and creative work that you guys are doing. So, with
Thanks
that,
a lot, NK. I mean, thanks for the opportunity as well.
absolutely. Thanks, our pleasure. Thank you very much, Prashanto, Shubham. So we will now move into our third segment. So the enterprises spend significant resources in addressing large volumes of routine support requests. So, but ineffective support function is driving down the level of customer satisfaction because customer support is the biggest. Can everybody please go on mute, please? Otherwise, it will disturb the listening experience. Sincere request. Yeah. So customer support is really the backbone of any organization. So while enterprises have realized that conversational AI can address this problem, they often find it challenging to set up and run conversational AI initiatives because it sounds so easy and it's almost like commoditized with so many organizations mushrooming. But at the end of the day, still conversational AI is not giving the results that are expected by the organizations, and the reasons are multifold in it. So SmartBots is an AI technology company empowering enterprises with virtual agents that can converse in human language. These virtual agents help enterprises with customer support and employee support. Virtual agents developed by SmartBots are powered by state-of-the-art AI technology, making them more human-like to interact with. We have with us Prakash, JP, co-founder and CTO of SmartBots, who sets the company's technology strategy towards making SmartBots platform a one-stop shop for all enterprise conversational bots needs. JP leverages his passion towards building a startup by strong technology expertise, especially in the area of AI and machine learning. JP, it's a pleasure to have you here. Would like to hand over the control to you to take over the session from now on. Over to you, JP. You are on mute, looks like, JP.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible now?
You are audible now, yes.
Yeah, thank you, NK, for the introduction. Yeah, I mean, was following other sessions as well, and they're really, I think they are really interesting and helping people like startups like us in this AI journey. One more interesting observation I had during this session is we started with Hindol's company, which is into the data science, which is into predictions, and then the next session was on the image processing, and now we are into language understanding. Interestingly, this is the pattern in which the enterprises are also adopting the AI, right? So first in say 2011, 2010, in that time, people were looking at more data-driven AI strategies, and then image processing came into picture, and the late entrant into the game is language understanding, right? So yeah, so that's
just silent place that way.
So I'll share my screen. Let me know
Sure.
if you are able to see.
Yes, JP, you're good.
All right. So yeah. So thanks for setting the context on the problem. We have, I mean, in the customer support, we see that there are a lot of challenges. One of the major challenges, the amount of time spent on the routine support tasks, right? And customer satisfaction is what is the yardstick for most of the business leaders who are handling the customer support of the business. And today, I mean, this is purely the B2B side which we are trying to handle. Our focus is purely on B2B side. And So this, as I was telling earlier, conversational AI is already there in the market. The enterprises have realized that yes, conversational AI is the solution. And by 2014 or so, many people started using bots, right? So, and there is a subtle difference here compared to other technologies, the way they have evolved. The concept is preceding the technology here. I mean, this is the case with most of the AI solutions. People know Jarvis or other the assistants, virtual assistants, even before they were built, right? So that is how the industry has evolved, and that has created few positivities in terms of adoption and challenges in terms of higher expectations, right? And there was, I mean, companies have gone through this hype cycle and then started adopting. This being new area, companies were struggling on what exactly should be the way. So many enterprises have realized this problem, and that conversational AI can solve the customer support problem. But how to start, where to start, these are the kind of challenges which they are having, right? So that is the problem where we are trying to solve. A little, if you deep dive into the challenges which the companies are facing, a few of the companies are at the beginning, they are looking at where to start. Then once they identify a use case, then we have a lot of tools, right? So conversational AI has very low entry barriers. You can go to Dialogflow or AWS Lex and start your journey there. Build a bot in a day, right? But what is the right set of tools? What a B2B in an enterprise setup, what exactly you need? These are the challenges which enterprises are facing. Then once you deploy, once you implement your solution, then whether the bot is doing the work which it is supposed to do, right? So it is, finally, at the end of the day, they show ROI which the bots provide. So that is the next challenge. And finally, it's not a solution. It's like once you deploy and then that's the end of it. You have to have a complete life cycle of it. So after a year, how much are we getting from this bot solution? This is something which enterprises are struggling with. So in the life cycle, we have testing, deployment, training, and analysis. Right? At a high level, this is what the industry is going through, and there are a lot of challenges as we interact with enterprises. The concept is gone in, but the success rate, as you were saying, is really poor. And the reason for that, for the poor success rate, is these set of challenges which enterprises are facing. So what enterprise need first is a virtual assistant that is a perfect fit for their business, right? So that is the first thing which enterprises need. And the second one is a tool which can help the companies monitor and get value out of the solution. So if you draw parallels to your the website which is out there addressing or helping customers with information about your product, that can be considered as your virtual assistant parallel, and your Google Analytics tools or your WordPress or any other SEO tools which help in monitoring or getting analytics from your website, that is the SaaS platform. So that is the analogy which I'm trying to use. So this SaaS platform helps not only in building, but it should help in testing, training, and managing the overall life cycle of the conversational AI solution. So this is the first part. I mean, I have the entire session structured into 3 parts. The first one is the enterprise problem. And the second part is types of solutions which are there in the market and what we have built. I'll go through a few demos there. And then the final part is what is the technology, the AI or the engineering which is driving this entire AI strategy, entire conversational AI. So now I'm done with the first part. So this is how the businesses are struggling, and we are seeing this on a daily basis. We have interacted with close to 100 enterprises, and most of the enterprises are facing these challenges. Now let us look at a little deeper into the type of solutions, right? Based on the use case, the complexity varies. And so from the left-hand side, we have the informational bots. I'll show a demo of that. So these are for the purpose of like answering standard questions. There is no conversation as such, right? So you just have a set of questions and answers, and the bot will be able to answer those questions. So that is the first, and this is the most famous one, and this is where I see a lot of competition And in the second one, we have transactional bots. So these are built for a particular purpose, right? Either to book an appointment or to raise a ticket or help your banking customers with information, so on and so forth. And this is something which has come up like about 2 to 3 years back, and now it is prominent. And the emerging one is the goal-oriented bot. These are little closer to your Jarvis and the fancy virtual assistants. So these are the virtual assistants which help you in your buying decision. So it would be on the website, and you can search for your favorite dress, or in the e-commerce space, that is how it is used. And in the case of a customer support, virtual assistants help in resolving your query, right? So it is the involvement of a human in this is minimized in the goal-oriented bot. And again, in terms of the technology, all these three types of solutions vary in their capability, right? In terms of technology, the first one has keyword-based language understanding, and there are no conversations. Second one has intent classification, extraction of. And the third one is, in addition to the second type of second category, you have dialogue management, context management, and reinforcement learning. These are the various types of solutions which are there in the market. And as a business, you don't have to go for the best one always. So you need to identify your business case and fit the right solution, right? And also one more important point is, as you go from left to right, the complexity of the technology complexity increases, and in that same flow from left to right, the stability, right? So this is the current trend, and our job at SmartBots, the research we are doing is to, this red arrow down, we are trying to lift it up and make it stable across all the types of solutions, right? I'll quickly go through one example for each of the conversational, the type of solutions here. The first one is the informational bot. Again, so this I have picked our own website bot, Clio, which can answer some standard FAQs. Right, so this is our website, and here we have the bot, and you can start interacting. So this has the questions about our website, like what is bots platform, right? So you ask this question, the bot has an answer. So you have a set of questions which the bot is, and in case if you don't have an answer for this, then it should guide you to the live agent. Let me show you how that works. So for this, I have two screens. This is where the live agent resides. You can start chatting with the bot, and the live agent you can start interacting with it. So an agent who is sitting and addressing the customer queries can start conversing with them, and that is how live agent transfer from the bot happens. Right, so that is the first simple FAQ bot which can address queries. Second one I have is so this is a transactional bot. So you have built this bot for a particular purpose, meaning the bot helps in booking an appointment, and this is Eva, our virtual assistant, helping patients with booking an appointment. Right, so again, this is again a chat bot. So, and the way it works is, for a first time user, you can start clicking on the options which are here, and the bot helps in identifying the right doctor for you, right? So you are looking for a primary care doctor in your location, and then you can pick up the doctor, go ahead and schedule from the backend. You get the scheduling information, and then so on and so forth. You can go and then do your booking, but this is not that exciting, right? So it is similar to your application or a form which is there on a website. It has to be more conversational. So that is where, I mean, so you have to just, the bot should be enabled to answer simple language which the user's interacting, right? So if the user says, I want to book an appointment with Dr. Oliver, all the other steps are skipped and directly went to the appointment scheduling where the slots for booking are available. This is the second type of solutions which, and the third one is the goal-oriented virtual assistant. What I'm going to show is a virtual assistant. This is a voice call on phone. What you're going to hear is a virtual assistant addressing the queries of a customer with information about the policies and their policy claim, right? So this is a real call. I have edited it a little bit to put it under 2 minutes. This is actually around 7 minutes call, but this is for 2 minutes, right? So I'll go ahead and show this video, and afterwards I'll show the few aspects which are different from the other two types of bots. NK, can you confirm if you're able to listen to this?
JP, there is a problem with this. So what you can do is on the left side on your sharing place, there is a option to optimize your presentation for video. If you can see that on the left side, there is, when you share, when you click on the share application, that's where you get on the left side on the WebEx. On the left side, it says optimize for video.
Okay.
Then it adjusts the frames for the video.
1 second. I'll stop sharing for a while.
Yeah. And when you click on the share, it opens up a pop-up. On the left side, see there is a drop down with two options.
Optimize for motion and video, right?
Exactly. Click that and it works fine.
Just hold on for a second, I'll get it done.
No problem.
Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, you can.
And please confirm if you can listen.
Hello, I'm Primo.
Okay, great.
I'm a digital agent and can help you with some common questions about insurance. How can I help you today?
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing fine, thank you. How can I help you?
I want to check my policy details.
I can definitely help you with your policy information. Before we proceed, I want you to authenticate. Please key in your registered phone number. You would have received an OTP to your registered phone number. Can you please type in? I got it. Thanks for the cooperation. What is your 5-digit policy number?
It's 98578.
98578. Is that right?
That's right.
Your policy type is property. You have 0 claims in the last 1 year. How else can I help you?
I want to report a claim.
The claim is on the same policy number, 98578. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Next, what is your agency number associated with the policy?
What is an agency number?
Agency number is the branch code linked to your policy. You can find it in your policy document. Let's get back to the previous context. What is your agency number associated with the policy?
Hold on a second.
Sure, I'll wait.
My agency number is 289.
289. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Was there a delay in filing police report or no police report filed?
I guess.
Sorry, was that a yes or a no?
It's a yes.
Thank you for the information. Your claim has been reported. How else can I help you?
I am good. Bye.
Goodbye. Take care.
This is the goal-oriented part. Now, again, so if you see in voice, the challenge in conversation increases.
JP, just a time check. We have 3 more minutes to close. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a goal-oriented bot. Now, if you notice, which is the keyword-based FAQ bot. Second is intent-based. You have this functional bot, and the third one is the goal-oriented bot, which has to be extremely stable. Right? This is where our energy and focus has been going. And so the technology which is driving this, the one on the left, this is called dialogue state tracking. Right? So what you have just listened and what you have heard just now is the voice bot, which is powered by dialogue state tracker, DST, right? But what this does is when you move, I mean, when the user moves away from the standard conversation, right? So if you move away and ask a different question, DST takes care of bringing the user back to the flow. And when you, also it has the cognitive abilities, like if you are talking, the standard English words like hold on, the bot understands and then keeps the whole state management on hold till the time the user gets back. So that is the core strength and the main area where SmartBots research has been going on. And the two other modules which is part of our research is the dialogue score and training. Right? I'll spend a little bit on the dialogue score part. Dialogue score talks about, dialogue score is like it's a yardstick for measuring the bot's performance. Right? So if you have two bots which are built for the same purpose, dialogue score says that the first bot is better than the second one, or tries to compare the performance of this. That is one interesting tool which helps enterprises in deciding which, how to take the bot from development to production. So what we have done for few clients is like if the coverage or the dialogue score is more than 70%, then you can move it to production. So that is how we are using dialogue score in the enterprise sector. The last and the most important part is training. In training, what this tool does is, suppose if you have say 1,000 conversations, the training feature identifies the top 20 vulnerable conversations and then present it to a human reader. So it reduces the effort of like monitoring a lot of conversations and lets the user focus only on a small portion of it, which really need attention. Right? So these are the technology. This is the technology which is driving the virtual assistants which SmartBots is building. And the other components of the platform are the dashboards to monitor. This is dialogue score. If you can see, the score here determines whether the bot should go into production or not. And then finally, the training part, which identifies the conversations which need attention, and it lets the human agent to either say, train it further. Right? So that is training. And a quick overview about SmartBots. We are about 2 years now. We have been working really closely with few of the big names in the industry. We are working very closely with the contact centers, leading contact centers. We have a very close relationship with AWS team, and we have been invited to AWS team to showcase few of our innovative bots which we have built. Right, so that's about it. And these are the few general guidelines which we share with most of our customers while they are going for a conversational AI deployments. Right, so that, in a nutshell, the conversational AI solution should align with the overall AI strategy of the enterprise. Right? So that will make sure that your initiatives are really successful. That's it, NK. Those are the things which I wanted to share.
Thanks, JP. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. We are on top of the hour at this point of time, so we may not take any Q&A in this. So Hindol, Prashant, Shubham, JP, thanks very much for being part of our Alliance Forum and also forum, and also thanks for coming live today on our CXO series platform. All delegates who have attended, thank you very much for spending part of your evening with us in this webinar. Thank you very much. So with this, we will close the webinar session for the day. Have a good time. Enjoy this evening. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.